All right, here we go again. More function, algebraic function manipulation we got going here. Today's lesson it's called composition of functions, and all that means is we're going to plug one function into another function. So instead of just plugging a number into a function, we're going to take an entire one function, put it into the other function. And the way, one of the ways, I put it right on the front screen here, but one of the ways we write that is f of g of x. You would take this function and plug it into that function. Of course, we need some actual functions to do that. So here we go. All right, so here's how this all works. Take a look at this problem. You have two functions. Here's one, and then it says find h of g of 8. So what you do on these is you work from the inside out. You can't find h of g of 8 if you don't even know what g of 8 is. So g of 8 just means plug an 8 in to g. So you're going to take the 8, plug it in here, do the math that you get, and whatever that whole number is, basically that's what would go here now, right, instead of g of 8, and then you'd be finding h of that number. So you would take that number, whatever it is, plug it in to h. Now that might have been too much all at once, so here we go. Let's go a little faster, or a little slower. So g of 8 equals 3 times 8 plus 3, which is 24 plus 3, which is 27. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this thing, but instead of writing g of 8 there, I'm going to put 27 there. So basically what we have now is h of 27. And now that means to take a 27, plug it in up here into the h function. So that's 2 times 27 plus 2, which is 54 plus 2, which is 56. So what you want to get straight here is this is not multiplying. We're not taking h times g. We're taking h of g of 8. So we do this first, get the answer, whatever that answer is, and then put that answer back into here, which I rewrote it, and then you take whatever that answer and plug it into the other function. Let's do it again. Same thing, except this time there's two ways they write composition functions. One way they write them, I just showed you. The other way is they put this little open circle right here. It's the same thing. In fact, the first thing you want to do here is just rewrite it. It's g of h of 5. Same thing. I don't know why we have two ways to say it, but we do. Nothing I can do about it. Okay, so what does that mean? It means take a 5, plug it into h. So we're going to put the 5 in for h right here. This is h function. Obviously we're going to get 8, right? Then we're going to take the 8, plug it into x to get g of 8. So it looks something like this. H of 5 equals 5 plus 3, which is 8. So we're now looking for g of 8. Once again, h of 5 is 8, so I'm going to replace h of 5 with an 8 here, which is what I did right here. So now it just says g of 8. But g of 8, we just means to take 8, plug it in up here in the g function. So now that equals 8 squared plus 2 times 8, which is 64 plus 16, which equals what, 80? So the final answer to the problem is 80. It's that simple. Alright, this is where it gets a little trickier. And the reason it's going to get trickier is if you notice my question here is find f of g of x. There's no number there. So we're not really plugging any numbers in this time. What we're doing is we're taking the entire g of x function, which is this, right? G of x equals this. We're going to put this function in here, Let's do that first. So really what this means is f of x plus 2. I'm just substituting where it said g of x. Since there's no number, I can't actually do anything mathematical with this. So I'm seeing that this is here, and I'm replacing it with this, the actual function, where this is more of just a label for the function. This is the actual thing. And now what does that mean? It means to take this and plug it in for f. So we're going to take this x plus 2, plug it into x. And that would look like this. F of x plus 2 equals 2 times x plus 2 plus 1. Distribute 2x plus 4 plus 1, which is 2x plus 5. That's the answer to that problem. Notice this time we don't have an actual numerical answer. That's because we didn't get an actual numerical question. We don't have any numbers to plug in. We're just manipulating functions. We're taking what was this, plugging this in instead because that's what it is, and then it says f of that, so we take that and we plug it in for the x, which is what I did down here. Don't forget, you can always pause these things, look at them, stare at the screen while it's paused, and try to figure out what's going on. Not that I think it's that crazy, but you know, do what you gotta do. All right, one more, very similar. I just kind of bonus question really. It's not like it's any more difficult. I just threw an extra one in for you to look at. Same thing. It's generic. There's no number right here, so the answer is not going to be a number answer. It's going to be just a manipulation of algebra variables and stuff. So this one, same thing. We're going to do g of, but the f of n is this. F of n equals this. So whenever I see f of n, I could put this. Why would I put this? Because this is the actual function, not just the label for the function. This is it. And what does this mean to do? It means to take this and put it in for n in the g function. So we're going to write that out. That equals 4 times negative n minus 3 minus 1. Once again, I took this, I plugged it in the n right there, so it's 4, right? But instead of n now, I've replaced it with this thing that's here, which is that. So that becomes that, the minus 1, still minus 1. That equals negative 4n minus 12 minus 1. And that equals negative 4n minus 13. That's the answer to that one. That should be enough examples. You know, because I'm not going to be here for you guys to do this assignment, you're welcome to look up other examples. You know, you could search. What you want to search if you're still struggling with this at all and you don't think you have enough is composition functions. Just type composition functions. On Google, you'll get tons more stuff. You'll get more videos or even just more mathematical explanations. I don't think you're going to need it because I did pull right from homework problems that you're going to have to work on in class. But don't forget that you always have other resources, especially when your teacher's not here that day. All right, I'll see you soon. Work hard. Be nice.